Shakur Stevenson says that he would go up to 140 pounds to fight Teofimo the Takeover Lopez. Look, I'm going to give you guys ego thoughts, and some are going to like it, some won't. I don't really care. I am the best in the business, and it ain't even close. It is not even close. Listen, you guys see it on the screen. Shakur Stevenson responded to Teofimo. Teofimo said, #boxing, this is how I'm feeling. And he posted Javier Herrera, who was calling out Shakur Stevenson. I made a detailed video about that, unpacked this morning. Check it out. So in that video, I broke down Shakur has a pattern. Let's just be real. I'll give you the cliff notes, but please watch the full video. Shakur keeps saying, like, I'm the boogeyman. No one wants wreck with me. But then when people are punchers, so they at least have that. Like, because let's be real. Shakur is a good fighter. He a good little fighter. So skill-wise, there's not a lot of guys that are probably matching Shakur's skill for skill in that department. However, you can say he fights negative and all that, which is pretty accurate. But at the end of the day, not many people are going to be able to match you in that department. However, there are people who have maybe a stronger chin than you or more power, and these are the matches we need to see, because you're going to have some kind of firepower or something to offset what Shakur Stevenson does well. So speed, athleticism, power, long arms, certain attributes. You're not just going to be, unless it's an off night, you're not going to be some like cab driver and probably beat Shakur Stevenson unless he's lacking, which he hasn't been doing, right? So when Javier Herrera, he's like, sin contract, I kill you. You fight me. I know play, I know pay, I know baby, send a contract, right? He's pressing you and saying, I want work. And then Shakur looking around like, nobody wants to fight me in boxing. You can't really do that. You can't be the boogeyman and then people are actively calling you out like Javier Herrera or Ernesto Tito Mercado, big punchers. You could say they're unproven, they don't got crazy resumes, but then a lot of guys you've already fought, that was the case. Chris Pitbull Diaz, he didn't have no crazy resume. Electrician Padley, he don't have no crazy resume, and somehow, some way, you were able to fight these people. Artem Haratunya, he was coming off a loss. I hate when boxers do this. This new generation is cooked in boxing. They got to start making some better, because what they say, they're too social media friendly. And what they say and what they put out, it don't make sense to me. If I do this every day, I heard what you said yesterday compared to what you said this week, it don't even make sense. And that's what I'm seeing. This social media is a danger to these young fighters because they're too loose-lipped and, carrying on and saying this and that, and they don't even realize how they're contradicting themselves and it's making them look. For example, let's get to it. Shakur responds to Teofimo, a 140-pound champion. How about you fight me next, Teo? Let's line it up. Both do business with the same people. I'll go to 140 for this on God. Sounds good. Now Shakur wants to go to 140. It sounds good. So what am I talking about? I don't know if people in boxing think I'm slow or have Alzheimer's. I don't know. Jason Bourne, if you think I'm not going to remember, I don't know what's going on. But not too long ago, last year, Shakur and Ryan Garcia had an exchange of words. And you told Ryan Garcia to meet you at 135, knowing Ryan lost to Tank and then basically said he couldn't make 135 no more. So Ryan was like, you're boring. He dissed you. You tried to diss him back online, but you told Ryan that you weren't coming to 140, that you would want to fight Ryan at 135 and you could get it shaken, knowing Ryan can't make the weight. So it's like when you start requesting things you know can't happen, that's pump faking to me, right? Ryan at that point wasn't making no 135, especially for you. Like, let's be real. Again, Shakur, he a good little fighter, but he's no Tank in terms of the star power, especially at that point. So why would Ryan, a big star with a bigger name and platform, and done a million with Tank on pay-per-view, why would he drop down for you? It don't look realistic. But at that point, maybe Ryan could have made 140 for a Shakur fight, but you told him to come down to lightweight. Now you're being called out by this Javier Herrera. You're dismissive of him. I've already done the unpack video. Like, who is this? Y'all sending little kids at me. But you can fight Padley. Now you're saying you'll fight Teofimo Lopez at 140. Why didn't you say you will fight Ryan at 140? Right? We've seen Ryan, what he did with Devin Haney, who's kind of looks bigger than Shakur, at this point. So now you want to move to 140. The other thing for me that makes this look disingenuous is the fact that Teo has a fight. He's in there with a big opponent, like size-wise, Arnold Barbosa, who's promising all these things. You're offering to fight somebody who has a fight that many pugilists and announcers, even the DAZN people, said Teofimo could lose this fight to Barbosa. So again, to me, this looks like pump faking. Like, the man has a contracted fight for May 2nd. We got to see how Teo looks, because he didn't really look great with Claggett. He really didn't. So there's really no guarantee that he'll beat Barbosa, who's on a bit of a hot streak right now. So for me, Shakur is sounding like he's pump faking. You and Teo were both with Top Rank, and now you're talking about we with the same people. You were with the same people at Top Rank, and you never even uttered, I'll fight you at 140. And for me, within Top Rank, it seemed like if you were pressing for this fight, it would have been easier to make than whatever deal with Turkey. And, because Turkey has his own way of doing things, and he might already have Teo's next couple of fights lined up because that's how he's planning, right? So for me, I don't really buy it. And Shakur, they keep calling him Twitterson. He's going to have a hard time beating them charges and allegations, because that's what it seems like. A bunch of talk. Tank talk, Loma talk, and then Teo talk now, and Ryan Garcia talk. All situations that don't look likely, and you're not doing the right things as a fighter to usher that in and get those situations, like basically brand building to the point where Loma would look in your direction over Tank. You're not having those types of performances or building your brand up crazy to the point where that is viable. And then you're discounting other fighters who are calling you out. Like, why should I fight Javier Herrera? He's a kid. What was Floyd Schofield? He's a kid. They're about the same age. They both ain't fought no big names. Skillfully on paper, you have more skill than them, but they possess power, athleticism. So you were down to fight Joe Cordina off a loss and move him up. Man, I'm done, bro. It don't make sense. Shakur got to fight a big name. I don't really care about. And you're saying you won't fight Keyshawn Davis because he's your boy. So you want a big name, but you already ruled out a big name in fighting Keyshawn because he's your fake brother. And then these other people you're discounting, like Tito, Mercado, and Herrera. But then you were somehow going to fight Cordina, who's not a big name, off a loss and move him up. And you were down to fight Schofield. But you're like, big names only. Now you're calling out Teo, a guy with a fight. I'm done.